If you're here, chances are you're thinking about buying your very first firearm. That's a very exciting step, but it's also one that comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of questions. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to walk you through a beginner's guide to buying your very first firearm. We're going to cover everything from what you need to understanding the different types of guns, how to choose the right one for your purpose, and even what to expect at a gun store. By the end of this video, you're going to feel very confident about making your first purchase. Let's get into it. Alright, so before you even start looking at guns, you need to figure out why you're buying one. Your purpose is going to guide your decision to what firearm you're going to be purchasing. Here are a couple of the main reasons people buy firearms. Home defense. Something that's going to be reliable in protecting your home and your family. And then going into home defense, we think about the kind of subcategories of different firearm options that we would have when thinking about home defense. So shotguns is one option. One good option for shotguns is going to be the Beretta 1301, which is a semi-auto shotgun. Again, this is just one option that we come to think of that comes up frequently when we talk about home defense. Another option when we talk about rifles is going to be the Smith & Wesson M&P Sport 2. This variant you see on the screen right here is going to be their 22 caliber version, but there's always a 5.56 version and other different caliber versions that you could get. Just another example for a rifle you could use for home defense. And last but not least, for handguns, a good option for home defense would be our Glock 17 that we see. It's going to be that Gen 5 full frame version of Glock's handgun. It's going to hold 17 rounds and it can always be added with extended magazines and other upgrades that you could come across a lot. Our next basic category is going to be concealed carry that is going to be utilized for personal protection for ourselves and others. This one you're going to want to have a small, compact, and easy to carry. Obviously, we're going to be looking at handguns, not really looking at rifles or shotguns, as they're not small and they're not easy to carry on an everyday basis. One option that we're going to have for concealed carry is going to be our Glock 43X that you see here on the screen. This is going to be their subcompact version. Again, that's going to be easy for you to carry on a basis. It's going to be a 9mm and it's rounds in each. Our next option is going to be the Sig Sauer Peak 5. Again, this is going to be their subcompact version that is actually made for concealed carry. Last option I got for you actually is coming from one of our subscribers who commented on one of our videos, the Springfield Echelon. I've actually never heard of the Echelon, but this is going to be their compact frame concealed carry option from Springfield Armory. Again, there's a lot more companies out there. We got Taurus and a bunch of other ones that also make different firearms. So you get a wide variety that you can from if you want to use your firearm for concealed carry. Our next category we have is going to be target shooting, different recreational. This could be anything from shotgun trap shooting, 22 caliber plinking shooting with steel targets, M1 Garand, suppressors, 1911s, MP5s, Tommy guns. There's so many guns that you can get just for fun and collecting. Our last pretty basic category is going to be hunting. So this can be pretty specific to the game you're hunting. If you're going deer hunting, you can get it done with a 5.56 if you really want. Otherwise, other options, 308, 30-06, it pretty much just depends on what you're hunting, whether it's bear, elk, whatever game, squirrels, you could get away with just a few. Same thing with shotguns if you're doing deer drives like we do up here in Wisconsin. We pretty much will take our shotguns out, so 12 gauge, 20 gauge, bunch of options there too. So again, knowing your purpose, it's gonna narrow down your choices when you're looking for your first firearm. For example, again, if you're looking for that home defense, you might consider a shotgun or a full-size handgun. If you're looking for that concealed carry, a compact or subcompact handgun might make more sense. Now let's quickly break down the most common firearm types that there are for beginners. First, we're going to have our handguns. They're going to be small, portable, easy to store. These are the two main varieties that they come in. Semi-automatic. So it's going to be basically firing one round every trigger pull and automatically reloading the next round. Revolvers. Revolvers, simple, reliable, and often easier for new shooters to understand. Great for home defense and hunting. Very versatile, but can have more recoil. Rifles, excellent for hunting, sport shooting, and in some cases home defense. They offer better accuracy at longer distances. Again, these are just different varieties of them. So shotguns, we have a pump action. Shotguns also will come in semi-automatic and other different varieties. Rifles, a couple of options that we have are bolt actions and break actions. Again, there's semi-automatic and other different varieties of rifles that you can find out. The best type for you will depend on your comfort level, your purpose, and different local laws depending on what state you live in. Next, we're going to dive into a little bit of calibers. Caliber simply refers to the size of the bullet the gun uses. For beginners, just a .22 is going to have very light recoil, cheap ammo, great for training. A lot of people will have in like their AR-15s, for example, they'll have a conversion kit where you can shoot .22s out of it, so it's very great for tactical training. 9mm is going to be the most popular handgun caliber you're going to see out there. Got a really good balance of recoil, cost, and effectiveness. Again, a lot of great handguns use 9mm. Personally, the handgun that I use to carry is 9mm. Next, you're going to be 380, slightly smaller than a 9mm. Often used in very small guns, usually those compact and subcompact styles. 12 gauge, that's just going to be a basic shotgun round. And again, this is just 4 very basic calibers. You have a wide variety of calibers. A simple Google search can show you even more calibers than this. You'll have your 5.56 for rifles, you'll have your 6.5 Creedmoor for rifles, your 20 gauge, and even for handguns, there's a lot more calibers out there. The right caliber really just depends on your needs, but I always recommend starting with something you can shoot comfortably and more importantly, confident. I recommend starting with that .22 on rifles and really a .22 for handguns too, because again, very light recoil, so it'll get used to actually firing a firearm. Next, another recommendation is just handle the firearms before you buy them. This is huge. Before you buy, simply go to a local gun store or shooting range and handle the different firearms. Some questions you can ask yourself: is it comfortable in my hand? Is my hand too small? Is my hand too big for this firearm? It's really personable. Each firearm is personable. Can I easily reach the different controls? Like if it has a safety, can I easily turn the safety off and turn it back on again? Can I reach the magazine release? Or even that side lock that we talk about in my other videos. Is the recoil manageable for me? Is there too much kick? Is there not enough kick? It all just depends on what your basic needs are. If possible, I always say rent a few models at the range and test them out. Most ranges have rental firearms that you can test any firearms that they have there. If possible, rent a few models at the range and test them out. Most firearm ranges will have rental guns for you there that cover a wide variety of what you would. The gun that feels best in your hand is usually the one that you're going to shoot the best. Next helpful tip is for budget for more than your firearm. Buying your first firearm is more than just the price tag on the gun. You should also budget for a holster. And when I say a holster, I mean a quality holster, especially for concealed carry, or a safe storage solution for different home defense. And then see a couple links. I'm going to have some links down in the bio for good holsters that I recommend. Ammo for both practice and self-defense. Even with ammo, they have different types. They have self-defense rounds, target rounds, and more options. Make sure that you're budgeting for your ammo because it's the only way you're going to be able to shoot. Eyes and ears. So eye protection and ear protection for the range. These are vital. Again, I'll have some down below links of different ears and eyes that I recommend. Classes. Different training classes. It's really one of the most important investments you can make. Find a local range, find local classes, find online classes too. We're actually going to be hosting some online classes pretty soon, so make sure you check out our website down in the link below. A safe, one of the most important things that you can have. Make sure our firearms secure, especially if you have children. Cases, another thing, transporting. How are you going to get it from your house to the range? Make sure it's always safe and in case. Because one thing we got to remember, it's not just about buying the gun, it's about being able to use it safely and effectively. Next tip that's, in my opinion, the most important tip is the laws. Making sure you know your laws because they vary a lot. Firearm laws vary state to state, even by city to city. So before you buy, make sure you learn your local purchase requirements. You need a background check. Are there waiting periods? You need a permit. For example, in Illinois, you need to have your FOID card, which is your license to purchase a firearm. Or if you go over the border in Wisconsin, you don't need that law. There is no permit that you need. You know where you can and cannot carry. Are you able to carry in grocery stores that say no concealed weapons? Understanding the laws around safe storage and transport. One of the big things too, can I keep a gun in my glove box? Again, it depends on the state. Here in Wisconsin, that would be considered concealing a weapon. And if it's found and you don't have your concealed carry, you could be arrested. Knowledge is key to staying on the right side of the law. Big shout out to our partner, the USCCA, which is the United States Concealed Carry Association. I'll have links in the bottom for their information. They provide a really good reciprocity map. So if you are going from state to state, you can see where your concealed carry permit will cover, what states it doesn't cover based on where you're at. They also just have general classes, rules, and laws that will make it a lot easier for you in your firearms. Next, we're going to have training and practice. Owning a firearm is just the first step. Being proficient with it is the real goal. I highly recommend regular range practice, actually going to the range, firing your weapon. Basic classes that teach the basic steps and skills that you need to stay your first success with your firearm. Learn how to clean and maintain your firearm. Again, we show this on this channel with every gun we review, how to break it down and basically clean your gun. Make sure you're looking at your different manufacturers' recommendations for that as well. For the responsible gun owner, the trained gun owner that knows what they're doing. And to close this out, we're going to do a quick recap. Buying your first firearm is a big decision, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You got to remember your purpose, why you're buying the firearm, learn the basics, right before you buy. Simply go into a range, budget for all the other accessories that you're going to need, and stay within the law. And finally, if you found this guide helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more firearm education, drop a comment, let me know what your first firearm was or what you're thinking about buying. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.